18 months ago, I quit my corporate data science job to become an entrepreneur. Despite my hilarious expectations of matching my full-time salary within 6 months, it took me 15 months of failure and volatility to finally do this. In this video, I'll share my realistic journey to my first $10,000 month as an entrepreneur. In no way is this meant to be a flex. Rather, it's meant to be a helpful baseline for those who are considering a similar path. What makes entrepreneurship hard is not coming up with ideas or learning new skills. It's that the road ahead is uncertain. So by sharing my story, I hope to make the path a little more clear and a little less painful for those interested in something similar. So let's get into it. In July 2023, I quit my dream job. It checked all the right boxes: six-figure salary, prestigious company, fun coworkers, and so on. However, in that role, I realized that the security and comfort of corporate comes at the cost of freedom and the growth that comes with discomfort. So with about 1 year of runway in savings, I quit my job to pursue entrepreneurship full-time. My master plan when leaving corporate was to sell data science services and make content about it. To my surprise, it seemed to work. Within 3 months, I got my first client, my content channels were growing exponentially, and it seemed like everything was gonna be all right. Until I hit the 6-month mark. Despite my early success, my first client was short-lived and my content growth began to wane. Looking back, my biggest mistake in those early days was lack of focus. I was creating content, taking discovery calls, doing client work, and entertaining any revenue generating opportunity that came in my inbox. The problem with this is that I was trying to move in 3 different directions simultaneously and ultimately didn't make enough progress in any of them. If I could go back now, I would put all of my focus into content creation at day 1. That's because it was giving me the most return on my time investment. So that's what I tried next. I realized the importance of focus at the start of 2024. That's when I decided to stop taking on clients and focus on content creation. From April 2024 to June 2024, I doubled down on content. My thinking was, since most of my revenue came from content, if I doubled my output, I would also double my revenue. And this kind of worked. My revenue went up from about $2,000 a month to $3,000 a month. However, much of this increase wasn't directly from content. Rather, it was from an increase in paid calls because I had gotten rid of my free discovery call option. A major lesson during this period was learning how content creators actually make money. This is either by 1, selling other people's stuff, or 2, selling your own stuff. I didn't have a good understanding of this, so I basically made content and generated revenue by accident. I have no doubt that if I would have grinded content for 1 year, I would have made enough money to survive from it, even by accident. However, at this point, I didn't have the luxury of time. I only had 4 months of runway left in my savings. So this is when I realized I needed something to sell. In July 2024, I led a private AI workshop at a large enterprise. Not only was this fun for me, but it was the most amount of money I made on a per time basis. I charged $1,500 an hour for the session, which was 5 times as much as my consulting rate. That's when something clicked. People seemed to like how I explained things. Not just enough to consume my free content, but also enough to pay money for it. Therefore, AI education seemed like the way forward. So over the next 3 months, I explored several AI education offers. This included private AI workshops for companies, 90-minute B2C workshops, 2-day B2C workshops, white-labeled B2B workshops, and a 6-week AI mentorship program. Despite reaching out to hundreds of people, promoting these on LinkedIn, and making landing pages, I still had no paying customers. In October 2024, I was on my last 2 months of savings. Although I hadn't found a promising offer yet, I had learned a ton from the failures of my past iterations. One of my key learnings was that given all the free AI content that's out there, any offer needed to be significantly differentiated. To me, that meant the offer needed to 1, be a high ticket one, and 2, include live sessions. This is when I decided to try out Maven, an e-learning platform that specializes in cohort-based courses. In just one day, I threw together a landing page for a 6-week live course called the AI Builders Bootcamp, priced at $550. Around this time, I was reflecting on Apple's old mantra of real artists steal, conveying the idea that you don't need to reinvent the wheel. See what's already working out there and copy it. This was one of the reasons why I thought this offer could work. Many others already had high-ticket AI courses on Maven and elsewhere. This also led me to write a blog called 5 AI Projects You Can Build This Weekend, inspired by various popular YouTube videos sharing AI project ideas. This blog turned out to be my most read article of all time. And lucky for me, I had linked my landing page at the bottom of this post where people could sign up for my waitlist. The Maven landing page and the viral blog post coalesced into over 200 waitlist signups in the first week. However, a lesson that I had learned many times over the past 15 months was that it's not real until the money's in the bank. So it was now time for the moment of truth, asking people to buy. In the first week, 16 people enrolled in the course. In the second week, another 15 people enrolled. By the end of this, 45 people signed up for this first cohort, earning me $11,760. The reason this number wasn't much bigger is that many people enrolled with a 50% founder's discount, and Maven then took 10%. The significance of making $10,000 in 1 month is that was what I made at my full-time job. To me, this was proof that I could make enough money to survive while still having complete freedom over my time and my attention. Here's a breakdown of my revenue in that first 10K month. My AI Builders Bootcamp generated $9,265.48. My Medium blog earned me $894.52. My YouTube revenue was $542.73. Finally, I made $363.21 from paid calls, coming to a grand total of $10,826.72. It took me 15 months of failure, hard lessons, and volatility to finally match my full-time income. Looking back, there were 4 key lessons I learned over this period, and I wanted to share them here in case they can save you some time and pain. Number 1, it's not real until the money's in the bank. I can't tell you the number of times I got really excited about a deal going through or an idea working out just for it to fall flat. This emotional roller coaster can really drain you, so it's best to avoid it and only get excited, if at all, when the money hits your bank account. Second was shifting my mindset from that of an employee to an entrepreneur. What I mean by that is that when I quit my job, I was asking the wrong question. I was asking myself, what work can I do? Or what services can I provide to make a living? However, what I should have been asking was, what problems can I solve? By not focusing on the value that I was generating for other people, I ended up just working really, really hard to just make a couple $1,000s every month. In other words, when you're just getting started, don't focus on your inputs. Start from the outcomes you want to generate for your customers, and then work backwards on what inputs you need to do in order to make that happen. Number 3 was to focus more. Every time I got more specific on the work that I was doing, the problem that I was solving, and who I was solving it for, my life got easier and I ended up making 2 to 3 times as much. In fact, this is still something I'm actively trying to improve upon. Fourth and finally, real artists steal. Don't try and reinvent the wheel. See what's working for others and adapt it to your situation at every opportunity. So I hope these lessons help shortcut your journey. Of course, there were many details I couldn't fit into this short video, so if you have any specific questions, let me know in the comments. And as always, thank you so much for your time, and thanks for watching.